Hey everyone, it's David here with Surplus Fund. Hope you guys are having a great day. It is in the month of August, and I just cracked this open. I got a check here that I'm going to open up in this envelope. It is a tax overage check. I'm going to show you how much I'm getting commission off of it. Before I do that, and I'm going to also go over some key ways on how to start a business like this and keep your business consistent. This is going to be good, but do me a favor. Before I do that, if you've not subscribed to my channel, I don't know what you're waiting for. Click the subscription link down below, click the notification link, and I'll see you in the video. All right, so let's go and open this. I just took my little envelope opener, open this, and in here I have a check made out to one of my corporations for $4,410.15. And you can see the check, and it is dated right there on this. And this is dated for July 28th of 2022. It's interesting, I just got this, and we're the first week in August, so that's good. And this check, I actually lost, well, I'm making money, but I always do $4,400. On that low of a commission, I would do 50%. If you're brand new, I have to do 30. But I was looking, I had my spreadsheet and I was looking at the line below, and it was like a $30,000 claim. And I said, yeah, we could do 30%. The guy's like, okay, great. He goes, would you go to 20? And I almost said, yeah, and I'm glad I didn't. I said, you know what, I could do this for 30. And then after I said that and got everything ready, I looked at the line and realized that it was the $4,000 line. So that cost me probably about $800, $850. However, I still am making 30% on this would be just over $600. So I am making $600 on this. I'm sorry, $1,200. Hello, I can't do math today. So yeah, so looking at this, I'm making $1,200. So that's something. And do a couple of these a week, you're making $2,000 a week. That's $8,000 to $10,000 a month. You'd be pretty happy on doing this. So let's talk about the tax overage business and what I said in the beginning about how to start it and how to avoid some costly mistakes. Well, mistake number one is make sure you have your totals out before you actually go for it. Like I didn't have my total. I had it in front of me, but I was looking at the wrong total. But make sure that you know your data and do your homework. I always say this, find a list. Like you could research a list. You could look at auctions. You could look at auctions in your area. You could look at your county and find the foreclosures that are happening, the tax overage, the mortgage overages. Taxes are easier for me because I don't have to use an attorney, although they are making it harder and harder. We have a county right now that is being really difficult. So you will run into that. And sometimes you need to have an attorney on your team and just offer him 20% of whatever you make. Like if I was going to get $2,000 and he got 20% off the top, that'd be $400, and do that a few times a month. He's going to love you, or she's going to love you. All right. So number one is go ahead and find a list. Number two is research the list and find out what happens to the overage. Like ask in the court, like just say, hey, I'm doing some research. I noticed that this went for $4,410.19 over the asking price. Can I ask where these funds go and where do they get filed and how can I see this? If they ask you why, just say you're doing some research and it's public record. They technically have to show it to you and they have to show you how this works. And if they say that they don't cut checks or don't work with power of attorneys on unclaimed tax overages, ask them, have an attorney looking at the state laws for you, because if the state law says that you do have the right to do that and the court say no, the court can't override the state law. And I've had this happen before where it's like you have to walk in and say, no, I'm getting paid and here you go. And they hate people like us. And you see a lot of fraud in this business. You see a lot of fraud in everything. You want to always make sure that you get your clients paid, that you do your due diligence. Like this guy here, he's actually gonna make more money. Well, a lot of people make more money than I do because it's their money. But so roughly he'll make $3,000 and some change on this. So, and I'll make just over $1,200. Now, a few common mistakes I do see is the lack of consistency with this business. You have to make this a habit. Habits are probably, and this is the best advice, and some of you are probably rolling your eyes saying, yeah, David, I know that, I've seen that before. So you look at my life and I'm just giving you some habits. Every morning when I wake up, I do a devotion. It's a habit. I might miss one a year, but I don't really think so. It's a pretty hard habit where I get up and my devotion, I jump into the Bible first thing in the morning. The second thing I do is I read a business book, a minimum of 10 pages a day. If you do that, and I used to not do this, if you do that, you're gonna read roughly, that's over 3,000 pages a year. You're reading somewhere between 12 to 15 books a year. I also listen to Audible business books, but you have to make that a habit. Now, if you're not a morning person, and I used to not be, some of you are probably watching this and saying, wow, you do that in the morning, because I get up at 5 a.m. every morning. Now, back in my college days, in my undergrad days, I used to go to bed somewhere at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I used to get up every morning at like noon, 1 o'clock, sometimes 11 if it was early. But yeah, it's like, wow, it's hard to believe that's like such a different life. than what I used to live. Okay, that has become a habit where I'm actually reading books, and I've read some incredible, great books. I take notes, I write down, and the problem is I'm always like, I'm gonna read that book, because the author will always recommend books in their book, and you're always like writing these books down, and they probably give each other a kickback. I'm sure they do, and I probably have a list like of 15 books that I want to read, and it's cool to want to never get through that list. This is going to sound weird, and another thing I do is I do my own yard work, and I do some the repairs on my cars. First of all, the dealership here is not that good, and we haven't been too happy with them, and we've changing the oil, basic maintenance on the car. I do that. I know how to do that. Why not? Yard work, I get out about 30 minutes every day, and it's pretty cool, because you start waking up, it's like, oh wow, what am I going to do next? What am I going to do next? And when you miss that, you feel like you're really missing something. And then I, clean up for the day, get ready, and then I get in, and I have a set of business objectives that I write down every single day. Like, what do I want to accomplish in my business? It might be getting out a couple contracts. It might be following up a couple contracts, whatever it is. Projects that I'm working on for surplus fund. I write down what I'm going to accomplish in the day. And there's a sense of accomplishment where you start checking things off, and you're checking off, and you start getting the sense of accomplishment. You start training yourself to succeed. And you hear this all the time. Now, as an educator, when I was in the classroom for 18 years, it was completely a different schedule. And I would have to alter my schedule. Sometimes I would go to work early, and I could read there. Sometimes I would read during a special time during class. Sometimes I would do something a little bit different. I mean, when I say during class, they had this SSR, it was called Student Silent Reading Time. And I would pick up, and I would read there. Teachers, they encourage teachers to read, and I actually loved that time. So it wasn't like I pulled out a book in the middle of class. Just want to clarify that. But if you are working full time, your break, something like that, you got to start dictating your schedule. And then this overage business that you want to get into, you got to make it a habit. If you try 2 or 3 times and you say to yourself, okay, it doesn't work, I haven't gotten a phone call. Yesterday was my Monday live cold calls, which I do every Monday for surplus warriors, and I call people live. I didn't get one deal. The week before that, I got a very strong lead. I can call for an hour straight, and I might get a deal, I might not. The majority of the time I do, but sometimes I don't. And I've been doing this for quite a while. And if someone like me who does this gets deals but doesn't get deals, and you're doing it, and you do it for 15, 20 minutes, and you say, okay, it's not working, you're poking at it, and you're poking at the business, and it's not gonna work. What you need to do is you need to get involved in a couple of business groups, like online, a group that's really gonna challenge you, that you can have an accountability partner, practice your script with, practice what you're gonna say, notify someone, find someone with a really small overage, try to help them get their funds, find out if you can have the funds assigned to you, an assignment of interest, contingency agreement, maybe even a limited power of attorney. Those are the 3 contracts that you would need for this business. I go over those in another video. Help somebody get paid, and you might do it for free the first time, and you're gonna learn so much in the process on communicating with the court, what paperwork needs to be turned in, who you talk to, what have you. If you have a limited power of attorney and the check goes in your client's name, and you have the power of attorney over that claim, you can cash that check. Most banks, you have to find a bank, but you should be able to cash that check at your local bank, or like a Bank of America or Wells Fargo, one of the larger banks. You should be able to walk in and just cash the check and be able to do that. But again, you're gonna learn these things as you go on. In fact, the most successful lawyers I see in this business, what they do is they take what I teach them, the counties that I teach them, they go find their own counties, and they become super successful in those counties. They're super successful in collecting the claims there. Several weeks in a row, I've been showing you FedEx envelopes. I have my last one right here on my desk. And what I've been doing is I've been opening these up on camera, and I say, I have a check coming, I have a check coming. Some of that are checks like these that are coming in the mail. That's pretty cool. And I'm showing you this because getting contracts back, once you know how to do it, it should become a habit. Like you're focused on the devotion, like I told you about, reading the book, and the next one's a habit. And if there's some books on script, like Grant Cardone has a book, it's called Exactly What to Say. It's one of my favorite books because it teaches you that you're always selling yourself. If I walk in a job interview, I'm selling myself. If I walk into where I'm trying to get someone to get my services, I'm selling myself. And you're always selling yourself. And trust me, I've gone from the teaching world of life into the business world. It's great and I love it. But you're always constantly selling yourself. You're selling your product. You're selling, even when I call people and tell them they have funds that they didn't know they had, I'm selling myself on the phone, and I've got to convince them. And I don't call someone and say, hey, you have money. I go over scripts in some earlier videos, but I'll say something like, instead of saying, hey, John Smith, did you know you have money? And pause, he's not going to believe you. But if I say, hey, this is David Church calling for John Smith. Hey, John, did you know that the property at 123 Main Street went for $4,410.19 over the asking price on this date? And I pause. And then I wait for his response. Are you aware that these funds are waiting to be claimed? And I go over a scenario with him and the script. And trust me, I used to not do that. And I've wasted a lot of money doing that. But I've learned how to get that and how to get yeses. And by doing that and by experiences, then, and that's why I say start off small, almost work for free on your first claim. I've seen it more than once where someone comes in and they get this really large claim and they get the client saying yeah, and they screw something up, or the notary screws something up and they lose the entire deal. And it breaks my heart when that happens, because I always say that my client's success is my success, and I'm really big on other people being successful. I hope that these tips help, and let me know what you think on this. I will show you some checks. I don't want to be like showing you every single check, every single contract. I went through about 4 or 5 straight weeks where I was showing you checks and contracts, because I want you to know that this business is real and you will get paid in the business. And I've like literally opened up these envelopes and I said, there's a contract in here, there's a contract in here. Now I'm saying, hey, there's checks. I showed you a check a couple weeks ago. I had one for $14,000. I'm showing you this check. And literally you could do 2 or 3 of these. If I did 3 of these a week, and let's say I'm getting $2,000 on each one of those, this happens all the time. That's $6,000 a week. That's $24,000 a month. I have people in the business doing that right now. In fact, I have one young lady who just posted in the group. She has 4 checks totaling $17,000. These are commission checks. I mean, it happens. It's really cool. You got to get started. Start off small, learn the business, work your way up. That's a real big costly mistake. Hey everyone, I really appreciate you watching my videos. Tell me what you'd like me to film on. I will do new videos all the time. I love connecting with you as the audience, and I answer your questions quite often. Do me a favor, if you've not subscribed, click the link below, subscribe to my channel, click the notification link. I'd love for you to be one of my lucky winners, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks again for watching.